Okay, this one's basically completely off the cuff, um, and it's a 2 for 1 on top of everything else. Um, so I've had 2 more infusions. Um, the second one was still at 90 milligrams, and it I'm kind of getting to understand that these all are pretty much getting me to learn lessons that I wasn't willing to learn um, on my own or while my ego was engaged. Um, this one was I do everything the hard way. I put too much effort. I put too much energy. Um, the first way I realized this second time was if you visualize a set of blocks like this on either side, and it's stepping down blocks, and basically a ball dropping down those blocks, and then up those blocks, and the amount of energy it would take to push it down, push it down, push it down, push it up, push it up, push it up. It's totally inefficient. And one side you're fighting gravity on top of everything else. And those red blocks would disappear and the ball would disappear. And then this thing shaped kind of like a U, um, bluish purple color, and it had like a channel the same size as the ball. And the ball would just gracefully glide back and forth, and you just kind of had to tap it on the top, and it would go the other way. Almost like those swinging death set balls that you would see, but this was like in a piece of wood, it would go back and forth. Like, you could do it the easy way, or you could do it the hard way, and you always do it the fucking hard way. Um, and that I always put energy into people that don't deserve it, that I'm trying to fix people that don't deserve it, that won't fix themselves, that won't help themselves. And the only person that I need to be trying to help or trying to fix is myself. Um, that one, that one was kind of a smack in the face, but it's totally true. I mean, it is. Um, and it's kind of weird because, I mean, you're physically feeling that you're not there, and your ego's pretty much gone, and you feel as if you're basically just an energetic being at this point, and you feel that you're sort of you, but in a different form. It's not like a physical form, and the but there's like multiple versions of you, like multiple sides of the coin of you. It's like I can hear my voice in different, almost like different teachers. Maybe I'm not sure, but like one version of me is trying to teach me this lesson about effort. One version of me is trying to teach this lesson about um, where I focus my attention, where I focus my um, energy. And then I get this other voice, which sounds like it's real close to me. And it's kind of low and whispering and it's soft. And again, anybody that knows me and knows what I've been going through for the last few years is either going to cheer or want to slap the hell out of me, one or the other. But I just heard this voice say, Sam isn't a good person, at least not right now, and she's no good for you, and she may never be unless she finds herself and finds change. There's nothing you can change. Walk away, leave it alone. If it's meant to ever be anything, she'll come back. And, it's something quite a few people have told me, but, I've just always thought it was mumbo jumbo bullshit, like most of this stuff. And, it was hard to hear, even in that state, that, like, I have to give up on someone. Because I don't like giving up on people, especially people that I really, truly care about, and I want to see the best for, and I want them to have a better life, and I want them to have change in their life, and I want them to get away from things that is detrimental to them, and they even know it. But again, it goes back to that doing things the hard way or doing things the easy way. And I always tend to do things the hard way. And with this one, I can't. You got to leave it. And as soon as I agreed to leave it, it was like I was shot out of a cannon. And the energy of the whole thing changed. And it was more about how to do different things for me, how to change things for me, how to improve things for me, how to leave things and people behind, how to let go, how to say no. Basically, it was just like a mental dump of 30 years of things that I was holding on to. And I think that's one of the reasons why my head is so clear and empty right now, is like it was like a purge. And unlike the first time when the session was over, where I felt like I fell out of a tree and hit the ground, this was more like a leaf falling from the tree and just kind of gliding to the ground. The third infusion went to 95 milligrams. Much more visual, much more intense as far as the visuals went. I was less aware of things in a way, in a sense, but I was more in control of the visualization to a certain extent as well. It was almost like I realized, like, hey, am I in control of this bus? But I was kind of reminded that nothing is impossible, that nothing is too good, nothing is above and beyond, that if I want something, it can't happen, that it doesn't have to be a fight for everything, that if there are things that I want, I can't have them. I just have to have myself at a point where I'm in a position for them. And I've never really thought of it like that before. It's always been more like, it's just impossible. It isn't going to happen. People like me don't get this. People like me can't have this. Whatever the negative connotation would be. Now it's more like, well, it can happen, and I'm worthy of it, and I'm worthy of it now. But I've got to be in a mindset and a place where I can accept it, maybe. which, I mean, that's obviously a part that I've got to work on still, which I'm a million light years closer to that than I ever have been. Um, I don't feel like anything's impossible anymore. I don't feel like I can't do anything. Um, the victim, and I really never thought of myself as a victim with anything, because like even when I was trying to date people, it's like, I was always said, if I was that person, I wouldn't want to date me either, because I know what the hell reality is. I know what people are attracted to, not attracted to. I know what I'm attracted to. Um, but now it's like I have the will and the uh, insight, possibly. I guess that's possibly the term, to not necessarily want to make the changes, but on the back end, the things that I always treated, the things that I always doctored, the things that I was always numbing with the things that were causing the problems may not be there. So if I'm not constantly causing pain to myself, if I'm not constantly having the numb trauma in the past, it won't cause pain and trouble in the future. And that will cause me to be a better version of me moving forward. Because the past isn't constantly coming back to the future to bring the negative version of me with it. If that makes sense at all. Um, I guess in a nutshell, if I'm not eating, drinking, doing all the things that cause me to have the addiction issues and the weight issues all of my life, because I'm self-medicating with them, then just being even remotely normal is going to cause me to be remotely normal. And me at remotely normal can pretty much probably have anything I damn well want. And that in itself is a world of improvement compared to where I've been. So I think that's probably kind of in a nutshell the second and the third um, infusions. I gotta say, for anyone that's dealing with anxiety, that deals with depression, that deals with suicidal thoughts, that deals with OCD, that deals with chronic pain, that deals with even things like fibromyalgia. I think they say they use for treatment for this. Um, it ain't no joke. It really isn't. My thoughts and my thought pattern and my mental stability has never been this good, no matter what medication I've been on, for no matter how long. Um, the 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 peace, the lack of the ball of dread that constantly moved up and down, whether it was going to dread or if it was going to rage, um, isn't there. And if it does, it's like I breathe, I focus on it, I deal with what it is, and it's gone. It just doesn't build and build and build and build and turn into this nightmare that either goes to self-destructive or destructive to something else. Um, and it just doesn't sit there and dwell in my mind for hours. Um, the self-destructive thoughts that would constantly be tripping in my head haven't been there this week. Like I said before, possibly Monday was a very difficult day just because of what it was and the date it was. And I got through it relatively unscathed. And I'm pretty sure this whole week would have been an absolute nightmare if it wasn't for this. And it's been probably the best week I've had. Honestly, I don't know. I I can't even remember the last damn time I could say I was not happy, but just okay. Just base all right and actually meant it. You know, people ask you all the time, how you doing? And everybody says, okay. You know, just that kind of mindless answer where you just don't want to bother anybody with how you actually are feeling. Man, I don't know if I could ever say that I've actually ever meant that. And right now I can say, yeah, I'm okay. There's nothing eating at me. There's nothing feels like it's hollowing me out. There's nothing in my mind just bouncing around and disturbing me. There's nothing that makes me feel like my world's collapsing. There's nothing making me feel like my value's dropping. That there's, you know, the future's going to be bad. That the past was absolutely terrible and horrendous. You know, I know bad shit happened, but it was then. Um, and I'm looking forward to next week and going up and seeing one of my lifelong friends and having Thanksgiving with her and her family. And I haven't looked forward to doing any type of holiday event. Shit. A single digit little kid that still believed in Santa Claus. And to me, that's major. Um, because I hate holidays. I hate like hearing holiday music, hearing people wanting to put up decorations, hearing people wanting to sing Christmas songs or anything makes me almost violent. It like it enrages me when like people want to like put up Christmas trees before like Halloween and Thanksgiving. Um, that's how god awful they've always been to me and how terrible they've been to live through. And right now, it's like, yeah, it'll be all right. It'll be all right to be around people, and I may actually enjoy it. And closest thing to a Christmas miracle I've ever seen. Um, so yeah, this is about 19 minutes, closing in on 20 minutes of me staring at my keyboard, rambling. So if anybody's thinking about wanting to try this, thinking that, you know, they've tried multiple medications for depression that has either screwed with their libido or made another problem worse or left them feeling foggy or never really seemed to make a difference. Again, this shit ain't no joke. And I can't say that it's going to work for everybody. But, like I said, 3 treatments in, and it's made a hell of a difference for me thus far. Like I said, it's a week. But it's been a hell of a week. So, I'll put this up and see you in another couple treatments.